Hey everyone, it's Monday, week 8 of Wotown Writers, and we are now, drumroll please, 1 week away from National Novel Writing Month starting, and I'm a little stressed out. I'm trying to finish my first draft of Call to Action before November hits, and I don't know. We'll see if that happens. I'm really hoping it does. I think I probably only have maybe 10,000 more words to go, and I did manage to have a 10K week this past week, so I'm on track. So hopefully I'll be able to crank it out. If nothing else, it's good exercise for what I have to do next. I'm not really reading anything right now, so it's going to be hard to show you because I just actually finished a book, and I haven't picked up another one. But the book I just finished reading is The Haunted, also by Jessica Verde, which I showed you a couple weeks ago, The Hollow. This is the second book in the Hollow trilogy, and they're really good. So if you like paranormal kind of stories, I highly, highly recommend these books. We are continuing with our writing process, month and a half, I guess. Can't even call it a month because it's like a 6-week thing. This week we are talking about characters, while Jessie is talking about characters and inspiration all bundled into one fun package. Go, Jessie! For me, I can come up with my characters a number of ways, I guess. Sometimes I have characters who I come to find are very much based off of people I know, like my friends. They appear frequently in my stories. Sometimes characters just come to me, and that's actually what happens most of the time, is that I just get an idea for a character or a quirk or both, and that's where it sprouts from. Like with Care from Call to Action, as I told you last week, she just kind of came to me, and I just got this idea for some opening narration. I got this idea for a character named Care, who doesn't like that her name is Care, and she's generally annoyed with most of things around her. And that was where that character sprouted from. Sometimes I just have a name and don't really know where it's going, and that kind of happened in my first novel, Nor the Battle to the Strong, which is the one that's about a cult. I just kind of had this name, Liz McClancy, and I wrote from there. I didn't even know that I was writing about a cult initially. And the same thing is kind of true for my main character for my Nano novel this year. I actually just kind of initially came up with a name for her, but I decided that I really wanted to name a character Magdalene. I don't know why. I don't know where that came from. Well, I know where it came from, but I don't know why I was thinking about it. My character for next month's novel, The Trial of the Radicals, my main character, her name is Magdalene Hart, but everyone calls her Maggie, and the reason her name is Magdalene is because she's named after her grandmother. Yeah, so sometimes I get personalities, sometimes I get personalities and names first, sometimes I just get names first, sometimes I get personalities first, and that's what happened in the project that Emmy and I are sort of kind of trying to write together, and I'm really sorry that it's taking me this long to write my chapter, Emmy. I promise I'll have it done soon. I had my main character for that collaborative project, I had her personality very much picked out at the beginning, but her name kind of came to me a little bit later while Emmy and I were plotting, and her name is Serendipity. Oh, hold on. And I'm back. Speaking of names, because that's kind of key in the whole creating a character thing, is coming up with names. And that's actually what I frequently have a lot of trouble with, because I always feel like I name my characters the same things all the time, particularly with surnames. I frequently use babynames.com. There's another site that I can't remember the actual URL for it, but something like 20,000names.net or something like that. I bet if you went to Google and typed in 20,000 names, it'll pop up. But they have names by origin. Whereas babynames.com, you can look them up by, I think you can look them up by name or meaning. And one of my other favorite resources, Oxford Dictionary of First Names, which I got for Christmas from Caitlin. See Caitlin? I still use it. And I actually went through this ridiculous thing and picked out my favorite boy and girl name. And then I combined them all into my own personal names list. The boys' names are in blue, the girls' names are in pink, and so when it comes time for me to pick out a name, I can go to whatever corresponding color it is and say, hey, I like that name, and if I want to know what its meaning is, I can then look it up in here. So yeah, names, they're exciting. I'm going along with the quirks thing though. I also have a book for that. I have books for pretty much everything. But this is one of my wonderful reference books that I love. It's The Writer's Guide to Character Traits. But this is a nice, really good source for if I have a character trait that maybe I'm not sure about how that should be. Like with the cult thing, wasn't entirely, I kind of had a general idea with how cult leaders usually act, but it helped because I was able to look up basic character traits for cult leaders and then kind of expand on them. When it comes to characters, I don't always outline. Some people outline their characters very stringently and, you know, with these huge maps and everything. And I've done that once for a novel that never ended up really going too far, and that was a nightmare because I filled out this whole, like, it was like a 5-page, like, questionnaire for these characters, and it was, it gave me such a headache. It took me like 3 days to do. What I normally do is something more like what I'm doing for NaNoWriMo. First of all, I have, family trees are going to be very important. Families are very important in my Nano novel, I think. And so I have one family tree, and then the family tree for the other side of the family. I love making family trees. This is pretty much what I do when I outline characters, any kind of specific amount. I have the character. So there you have Magdalene Hart, and I have a little paragraph blurb of her stuff. Another version of me doing character outlines is my call to action characters, which aren't really outlined at all. This is my mess of a character sheet. And I do mean my mess of a character sheet. As you can see, I have added notes to every single thing. And really, there's absolutely no description involved in this. I have, here are Kara's parents. Here's Eloise Johnson and Theo Johnson, and their ages. Then I have Kara and her siblings, and their ages, and then I wrote in their grades. Then I have Kara's friends, and their ages, and then those are Kara's friends' siblings, who are friends with Kara's siblings. It gets really confusing. As I add on characters, I'm kind of tacking them onto this sheet. Well, here's some other characters. This is the outline for the government, but most of these characters have yet to be introduced. And then as I'm introducing certain characters for another group of people, that's how many there have to be, that's how many I have currently. My characters for call to action are pretty much lists. Epic lists. And I think the reason why I don't outline characters quite so much is because they always change on me. Unless you're a writer, people don't tend to understand that characters really have a mind of their own, and they will do whatever the hell they want. Characters are exciting. Next week, I can't remember what we're talking about. I think it might be plotting. When I see you next week, November will officially be rolling, and I will officially be losing my mind. Come back tomorrow to see Caitlin's rambles about her characters, which I'm sure will be entertaining to everyone. Because Caitlin is a very entertaining writer. I will see you guys next week. Which is stressing me out a lot. Whoa! I have a cutie. Oh, jeez. You're interrupting the process. Are you done? Can you get that? Please. Oh. Ah! Jeez! Just, I don't know. Ow. Little jerk.